Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to show you a video. And when you see this video, a few things are going to go through your mind. You're going to feel sorry for this person's dog or cat, right? Because it's like, I wouldn't want to be trapped in a house with this human being for eternity, for the rest of my life, no matter what. You're going to feel sorry for their significant other. If they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if they have a fiance or a husband or a wife, you are going to think to yourself, man, I feel sorry for this person's significant other. Because the level of dumb fuckery that must exist on the day-to-day conversations, if this is the stupidity she actually puts out for the world to consume, must be off the fucking charts. You're going to see her sitting there like she thinks she's doing something with this video. Like she thinks that she actually has a fucking brain cell in that noggin of hers. Dude, I thought maybe this would be parody, right? Like, no, there's no way this is real. So went and did a dive on her page. No, it's real. This is fucking real.
Do you know why Trump is changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
It's not to just troll you liberals. It's actually have more to do with the fact that the coasts that Biden banned oil drilling on, the Gulf of Mexico is one of them. So if you change the name from Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America, that ban doesn't apply anymore to that area, which oil drilling will bring prices down. You see logic here?
No.
I know it's crazy, but
yeah, it is.
Reading more into it than just assuming, oh, he's racist, he has something against Mexicans. No. This is his way of helping bring prices down. Let's do a little bit of critical thinking and do a little bit of research before you just listen to whatever your TV tells you.
You know, if we just change the name of the state of Illinois to Indiana Part 2, none of the laws that were written with the state of Illinois on it apply to the state of Illinois anymore. Back in 2020, hang on a minute. Oh, good God. It was a harsh hit, but it was needed. Back in 2020, Trump kept taking a position about COVID testing that I could never really wrap my head around, right? He kept saying, essentially, we wouldn't have COVID cases if we didn't test for COVID. Like, people wouldn't be infected with COVID if we just didn't test them. That would be like saying, well, you wouldn't be pregnant if we didn't test to make sure you were pregnant, or you wouldn't have AIDS if we didn't test to make sure you have AIDS, or you wouldn't have cancer if we didn't test to make sure you have cancer. One of the dumbest fucking things you've ever heard in your entire life, right? The only reason we have COVID cases is because we keep testing for COVID. No, the only reason we discover we have COVID cases is because we keep testing for COVID. And during all of that, when he kept pushing that narrative, I kept thinking to myself, listen, this guy pushes some off-the-wall shit, and he is dumber than a bag of hammers, but he cannot possibly be dumb enough to believe that Americans are dumb enough to think that COVID wouldn't exist if we just didn't test for it. And now I realize it's not that he was so stupid that he thought Americans would be that stupid. He knew his followers were that fucking stupid. That he could convince them that if we just don't test for COVID, then COVID doesn't exist, right? It just doesn't exist. If you don't ever test yourself for the flu, you'll never get the flu. And videos like this are evidence of why I now believe that. If we just change the name to the Gulf of Mexico, then the offshore drilling ban doesn't apply. He doesn't need to change the name of the Gulf of Mexico in order to reverse Biden's position on offshore drilling. He can do so through executive order, would be my guess. By the way, if we could just take a moment, do you know how many maps in the future are going to print the words Gulf of America on them? A handful that are printed here in the United States of America. I'm sure Trump is going to have some maps or globes or whatever printed up. Call them freedom globes that he'll sell to his idiotic supporters that'll actually have the Gulf of Mexico. Anybody who actually makes maps is never going to put the Gulf of America on a map. All right, it's not going to be renamed the Gulf of America. It's the Gulf of Mexico, and it always will be the Gulf of Mexico. This is as dumb as freedom fries. Remember that? If you're old enough to remember when we had ourselves a little spat with the French, and therefore we weren't going to call French fries anymore. By God, they're going to be freedom fries moving forward. How many people do you know go into a restaurant and order freedom fries? None, because it's dumb as fuck. Same thing's going to happen with the Gulf of America. Having said that, don't get a community guideline violation. Oh my goodness. I can't continue speaking without getting a community guideline violation. I think you know where my head is on this one.